money's not everything. Of course it's not everything. It's everything else.
Right. Yeah. And that's what people need to understand, that, you know, if you got something inside your head, you could bring it out and monetize the shit out of it.
Silent and listen are spelled with the same exact letters for a fucking reason. See, life is the only game that you can't play twice. Remember, something begun is something half done. You came here to get your inheritance back now.
I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire. Billionaire, I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I ain't gonna be a
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep Is For Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Jonni Vegaz. Now today, I got a very special guest on my show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat, so take some notes. This man is a celebrity fitness trainer and a life coach. Ladies and gentlemen, DAMEGA. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's the science, man?
Come on, man. Life is good, can't complain, man. If I would, I wouldn't waste your time, brother.
Right.
Oh, man, now it's good to have you, man. Like I told you from the beginning when I first met you, bro, you had this vibe about you. And when you ask somebody, yo, what you do, my brother, and the first thing they say is whatever the fuck I want, I was like, yo, brother, we need to do some business, you know what I mean? Talk to me, kid. It's good.
Facts. Yeah, you know.
How's life treating you, my brother?
That's what life. Life is perfect, man. You know, I tell people all the time, you wouldn't know if you didn't have if you wasn't having a perfect day, because you wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
so.
Every day is perfect, no matter what it looked like, no matter what it feels like. Because if you wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to know or feel.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So how did I make it perfect? I forget what it was. I'll be on the move. You know?
As you should.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm like the sun.
Mm.
So I was in Chicago and I was in this high rise, and this white lady got on the elevator. She's like, yo, how you doing? I think it was how you doing or how's the day or one or the other, but it was like how you doing? And let me give you exact. She said, how are you? Okay. There you go. I gotta make sure, I gotta consider, like, hey, how are you? It was like, hey, how are you? And I was like, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, nobody's perfect. Mm. So I get off the elevator, I said, I guess that makes you perfect too. I get off and I shut the door, so you think, damn, did he just call me a nobody? Mm. Yeah, I'd rather call you a nobody than for you to call me not perfect.
Right.
You don't know me to not say that I'm perfect, but I know you to not be a nobody.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it was her even taking the time to express herself that way, in that term of endearment, to try to, it seemed like it's almost like a put down versus how you took it and flipped it on her, which is dope, because that goes to show where her level of being is in life versus yours, you feel me? At least that's what I got from what you just said.
And exactly, because that means that you don't deal with people with how they understand, with language. You deal with people with what the hell they can comprehend.
Bam.
Because you'll be talking to somebody, they won't even be comprehending what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But you'll be talking for two reasons. You have a voice and they have ears. So
right.
You got to figure out what's the whole thing.
Dynamic.
The dynamic.
What's the synergy?
Yeah. So.
Right. Nah, same. I feel you, bro. And that's what I like even talking to you, bro, because you see how the conversation could just spark a level of intellect that's not, like you said, if you don't comprehend what you're receiving, then you'll miss the jewels. You feel what I'm saying? That's deeper than the conversation itself. Right. Because it teaches you how to move. You feel me?
Right.
In certain ways.
When you're talking about even though community, like take you for example.
Right.
You're in the media, right? Social media.
Yeah.
Right? And they did this thing called making everybody antisocial. Mm. Right? Which means you can be social, just don't socialize. Mm-hmm. You see? They took the handshake, they covered the face, they want all your facial expressions going, none of that. Nothing can happen unless you're happy. Mm-hmm. Remember now, because the root word to happy is happen. Nothing happens unless you're happy.
Right.
Nothing. Even if you're doing something and you're mad, it's going to unravel.
Right.
If you're doing something and you're doing something out of anger or strife or confusion or whatever the hell it's going, because remember, God does things decently and in order. I don't know, we had that talk, we was talking about what people understand what even God means.
We did.
Because we're talking about the God that's on the outside and then the God that's
in you.
The energy.
Correct.
Right. So we did have that talk.
Yeah, but we did it.
Okay, they did it. So a lot of people don't understand if you ask them what God is. And it's like, well, God's in the sky and he's going to make sure everything's all right. And I just got to pray, and then not realizing what's in you. So we have two gods, right? We have a God that's on the outside of us. We have two G's, actually, it's called the two G's. We have gods on the outside of us, then we have a God that's on the inside of us, right? So the God on the outside of us is anything that's alive and productive. So the people that's holding the camera, this person over here, this, that, anything that's alive and productive, that's God. Now whatever's on the inside of you that's alive and productive is God's too. That's your energy. So you have your outer G, which is your God on the outside that's productive, then your energy, which is God that's on the inside, which is your inner G, which is your energy, which is energy. So if you run out of energy, you run out of God. Make sense?
Love it. I'm telling you, hey, man. And this was the conversation all night. Just 3 hours. But nonetheless, my brother, you're absolutely right, man. I think it takes a certain level of self-love and self-being and self-mastery to get you to accomplish these goals, right? So almost like with you, where we're not almost, but exactly like with you when you started the celebrity training program and the ease plexity and everything like that. Congratulations on all that success, by the way.
Thank you.
So what got you into physical fitness? Because I know the story that led up to that.
For one, it was my purpose at that time. See, you can ask a person, well, what is your purpose? And they'll tell you what they like to do and what's going on and everything they think can happen and this. And they'll tell you everything but why they woke up this morning. Because if you woke up on purpose, you woke up with a purpose. You didn't wake up on purpose without a purpose, because you wouldn't have woke up. Nah, I didn't make this up. This is human nature, right? So, and then you don't find your purpose until you find your power. There's two types of people in the world. There's the powerful and the powerless. And when you enter the room with the other, you'll see which one you are. You'll know the difference right away. And then you'll have to adjust right there on the spot. Am I the powerful one or am I the powerless one? Now, the one who can say, and I mean, this is the tip for anybody that's in Hollywood and meetings and things like that, if you think you got the upper hand, if you think you don't got the upper hand, let me tell you how you know. Whether it's any dispute or any debate or anything, the person or persons at the end of that conversation that can say, what are you going to do about it, is the winner.
That's a jewel, brother.
Did you hear what I said? I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you're talking about. What type of dispute, it could be melee, it could be whatever it is. The one who says, what are you going to do about it, is the winner.
That's if he puts them in a position where they can't do anything, because that's his upper hand. I mean, you know, depending on the situation, but I'm just going off the example.
That's how you know you won. You say, okay, so you put in a position where you can't do anything, that's how you know you won. Again, what are you going to do about it? In order to have won, it has to be now. You turn one around, it spells now. So no matter how you look at it back and forth, that's how you know.
That's a fact.
This is fact, kid. See, everything is about numbers. No matter what y'all say, everything is about numbers. Everything, whether it's words, it's dialogue, it's about numbers. Words are mainly about divide and conquer. Right?
Correct.
Because a lot of words are just put together to shorten things that was supposed to be long term. Another Jew. Never tell temporary people permanent shit. Sidebar.
Keep going. I thought you was gonna keep rocking.
No, I just had to throw that in there because I was thinking about that. When you talk about power, right? So how I started fitness, I had got shot, died, came back to life. I still got the 357 bullet in the back of my heart right now.
Sheesh.
As we speak. So, yeah, someone who obviously didn't realize the power that I possess tried to take all the power by using the power that they possess, which was powerless, because there's two types of people in the world, the powerful and the powerless. And he entered the room and he saw it.
Right.
He was.
Damn.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Oh, you blessed, my brother.
No. I'm not blessed, y'all. I am only blessed. Let me clarify this, y'all. I had to say this because a lot of times now we may be talking this and that, but I correct the thing because the power of life and death lies in the tongue. All right? Don't become the middleman when you can cut them out. No weapon formed against you shall prosper according to your positive energy. Right? So no weapon formed against. It didn't say that you wouldn't make the gun. It didn't say that I wouldn't be shot. It didn't say that I wouldn't be hurt. It said that it wouldn't prosper. So it was designed. So 357 is the biggest handgun designed to kill at a close range.
Right.
So I was shot at point blank range. Right.
Crazy.
So the weapon was formed, but it didn't prosper. As a matter of fact, it was formed against me.
Right. Just like the line says.
But it didn't prosper. See? So, and that's my religion. That's why it didn't prosper. See, my religion is prosperity. Right? Well, religion is what you believe in, right?
Right.
Right. What I believe in prosperity. Right. So prosperity is my religion.
Okay.
Right. So you tell people, and I tell people all the time, like, people say, well, money ain't everything. It's not everything. It's everything else.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It proves both concepts.
Yeah. You said, well, money's not everything. Of course it's not everything. It's everything else.
Right. Hell yeah.
Money don't solve all your problem. So does not having it.
Right.
Right? The people that say that money ain't everything, they obviously don't know where the fuck to shop. Money can't buy you happiness, but you don't know where to shop. Shit. I tell you all the time, and you gotta watch people that say that because then we're talking about spirituality. Because money is a frequency.
Right.
Money is a currency. It keeps you current. See?
Yeah. I can dig it.
It's a currency. It flows. So, and I'll tell you how to never, ever, ever have to pay a bill again. I don't care if it's rent. I don't care if it's a car note. I don't care if you put gas in your car. I don't care what it is. I'll tell you how to never do it again. Y'all listen. People that tell you money is not everything, get the fuck away from it. Because their spirit ain't right. Because money is spiritual.
Yes, sir.
Money is spiritual. If people are giving money to the pastor, they say, well, the pastor said, well, in Malachi it says, bring your first fruits, you know, bring your tithes. That didn't have nothing to do with money. It's a tithe. You know, that means, and it did say to bring the first fruit of all thine increase, of thine or your increase. Bring the first stuff that you came up with. You could have just came up with knowledge. You could have came up with a plan. You could have came up with a vision. You could have came, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you could have gained that wasn't currency. It could have turned into currency, but let's just say it wasn't. Well, we don't want you around if you ain't got no money for it. Same thing.
That's it. Exactly, because that shit just keeps you down, bro. Being around that, and it's sad to call it negative energy with people who are like not having any money, but they just view life differently from somebody with money. Because for someone like me who sees everything as an opportunity, it's because I developed a mindset of having a little bit of money and then utilizing my resources to leverage other relationships to flourish, where we both can.
Right.
And that shit's just been working for me, you feel me? So I get what you're saying. It's like, it is a currency, but how you see the world, you know what I'm saying, determines on how it could work for you. You know what I'm saying? Because for someone who doesn't see it that way, nothing's an opportunity that's in front of them. But for us who do, everything's an opportunity.
Hey man, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Everybody ain't gonna see what you see.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. If the vision was impossible, God would have never given it to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And how does God give you a vision that's impossible?
It's two opposing concepts.
It's two opposing concepts. So what do? Divide and conquer, right? So you divide impossible to impossible.
Right. Right.
You gotta divide that, you gotta divide this. If it don't add, subtract, it's the same shit, right?
She gotta multiply sometimes.
Hey, you know, and then the word tells you clearly too, as a word, when you came here, you were supposed to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, it is.
And they don't tell you that you're supposed to be multiplying. And they don't tell you, you know, this and that. And a lot of things that I say, I recited stuff from the Bible because, you know, of course, you know, the Bible is the basic instructions before leaving earth.
Yes, sir.
And basic instructions. Basic.
Right.
There's some deeper instructions now, you know what I mean? But the basic instructions is in the Bible. And I tell people all the time, everything in the Bible is not true. But if there is truth, it's in the Bible. Remember me telling y'all that. Everything in the Bible is not true. But if there is truth, it's in the Bible. And I say that to say this. You can say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, it was inspired by man, right? So if I say, if me and Jonni Vegaz, we go do a deal with Paramount. I say, Johnny, man, take the note, take the notepads out, man, take this note. All dogs are born with 4 heads and 2 tails. Right? He write the shit down, boom, boom, boom. We leave, we come back to the meeting next week. I said, man, take the notes out for me. Right, what did I say? You said, all dogs are born with 4 heads and 2 tails. Is that true? It's true, I said it, but it's not a true statement.
Right.
You see what I mean? So that's how you gotta kind of look at, that's how you gotta kind of look at scripture.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's called scripture.
Right.
It's part of the short script.
Right.
Somewhere. It's not in there, it's not everything, it's not in there, but it's sure it's part of the script.
Right.
Because it's scripture.
Read your Bible,
Read your Bible.
Just read your Bible. Now, but on another note, going back to, you know, currency and, you know, you getting shot, and then, you know, at what point during that type of, you know, event did you say, yo, you know what, I want to take over my life now and just start doing this?
Well, first of all, God deals with you in your extremities. He deals with people with how extreme they are. See? I was extreme. I was so extreme that I had to be shot to death. And actually be and because before that, I had, so just give you a quick synopsis of God, right? So, and this is be quick, I don't give you all the details and all that. First, because I come from the streets, right? And a lot of people say, well, I came from the streets, this and that. And you don't have to, you know, I don't care what street you came from. If you came off the street, you end up in the penitentiary, you came from the streets, right? So, but then that's just how God deals with how extreme people is. Some people get a jaywalking ticket and they're like, oh God, I'll never have this. You know what I mean? They just don't want to be. But I was a little rebellious. I was the only child, not 10 uncles. So I kind of did this thing called what the fuck I wanted to do. And it worked for me. And it worked for what the extremes me. So anyway, I ended up catching a dope case when I was early 20, right? Right. I ended up, I went to the pen for that. I did my time. I came home a smarter criminal, and after that I beat 7 bank robberies. So it was 7 bank robberies, 3 false imprisonments, and no, 7 bank robberies, 15 false imprisonments, and 3 shooting at dwellings. The false imprisonments for locking people in the boat on the way out. Everybody was sick. That's not needed here nor there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, nothing happened with that because there wasn't enough evidence to
incriminate you.
Well, there wasn't enough evidence to overpower my God. It had nothing to do with incriminating me. I knew I was a fucking criminal. But I also knew that I had a God that, that was in me that wasn't.
Right.
So that's what a decent lean in order.
I got you.
Right. So, and then after that, it was still like, okay, you still didn't get it? Okay, you went to Peter. All right, okay. You beat, you beat 50 years, they're trying to get 50 years. You beat 50 years. And you still think you still that motherfucker, you still that, you the one, huh? Right. That's what you gonna do with my energy, huh? Well, I gotta clear you of all that energy. That's why they say it's just a constant renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
Constant renewing of your mind. It don't say, renew your mind. It says constant. Not just once a year. What's your New Year's resolution? People tell you New Year's resolution, they don't never talk about it to the next New Year.
Right. Sad.
Yeah. A constant renewing of the mind. That's the only way to move forward. Constant. I mean, you look awkward taking 2 steps at a time.
Right.
I don't give a fuck how fast you gotta get there, how fast you gotta go. You walking backwards.
Right. That's a fact.
So, but what I'll tell you though, so far as
you was talking about being shy and how that kind of got you into new mindset to get you into like fitness and.
No, they get me into a new mindset. It showed me that was my purpose.
Got it.
See, it'll go. The things that happen in your life, and they're gonna happen. You don't know where you're gonna happen at, this and that, but there's things that are gonna happen in your life that's gonna assure that you find out what your purpose is. And a lot of times you may find out late in life, you may find out whenever, but whenever there's a paradigm shift, and it's a serious paradigm shift, that means that, like you say, take this book right here, it says Paranoia, right? Okay. Paranoia by Joseph Finder. Paranoia, right? You know the opposite of paranoia?
No.
It's called pronoia. Pronoia.
Okay.
Pronounced just like that. Pronoia. Pronoia. The opposite of paranoia. It's the thought that, paranoid is the thought that everything in the universe is conspiring against you.
Right.
Pronoia is everything in the universe is working to your favor.
Right. As it should be.
They don't tell you about pronoia. You're a grown man.
Why do you think that is?
Because then they would have to explain. See?
Yeah.
A lot of things that what you know is because you listened to what you were told, not because it was explained.
Right.
There's so much shit right now you probably got in your head that you think you know, but if I explain it to you, you say, damn, I didn't even know. I didn't even look at it like that.
Right.
And that was the only way to look at it.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because that was the way to get the meat. That was the way to get the nutrition out of it. That was the way to get fed.
Right.
So when we're talking about, I'm gonna go back to the thing, but when we're talking about money, because I like talking about money. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. I have a personal, intimate relationship with money.
Yo, I feel your pain.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I talk just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it encourages it. Think about it.
Yes, sir.
If you go in the house and tell your woman, oh, baby, I love you. She, oh, baby, I love you. She like this. She, oh.
Yeah, it's just a
bunch
of love in the air.
What they got into you? Money is the same way. So when people tell you that money and everything, get away from it because their spirit ain't right, they carry an STD. Spiritually transmitted disease.
That's a fact.
Spiritually transmitted
bar
disease.
right there.
Yeah, and be careful for the people that carry STDs, spiritually transmitted diseases. Your spirit, they say, well, damn, what happened? You're like, damn, I don't feel too good. Well, who house you was just at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was you doing? Like, what was you just talking about? Like, don't think that it's like you can just be physically sick. You can be spiritually sick. There's a lot of people that's spiritually sick.
So how do you avoid getting spiritually sick?
Keep your mind right. You gotta be in touch with yourself. If you're not in touch with yourself, you can't be in touch with else. There's self and then there's else. There's two different things. Fact. Silent and listen are spelled with the same exact letters for a fucking reason.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta listen, because you have to listen. You know, and 9 times out of 10, like, take you're a smart person, right? And so this is the information age. It's the information age. Right. You had the Bronze Age, the Stone Age, the Ice Age, the Information Age. It was the end of the Information Age, going into the Mess Age.
Okay. The message. I got you. Yeah.
The Mess Age.
Yeah.
So from here, the only people that's going to make it into the next age is the ones who made the Mess Age, or the ones who made the message.
Right.
You got to do the Stone Age, who came before, and all this other shit.
Yeah.
This who's next.
Right.
Past and the future start at the same exact time. You got to figure out which one you want to live in. And the second you choose which one you want to live in is the second that you choose where you want to live. If you don't know where you want to be 5 years from now, you're already there.
Oh man. Oh man, I hope that landed. I hope that landed in somebody's heart.
You don't know where you want to be for 5 years from now, you're already there. So
Nature's gonna take its course. All that time wasted gonna keep you right at square one.
Fact. And time wasted, you have to understand, time is, everything goes back and forth. Everything goes back and forth. So time goes back and forth. Time is the only thing that eventually will ask you, what did you do with me? Not your mother, not your father, not your son, not none. Because everybody's gonna have in their mind what they did with you. Only thing that's not going to know what you did with them is called time. If you spell time backwards, it says emit. Emit means to produce. Prince had the group, The Time. Remember Morris Day?
Right. Yep.
He owned that. Think about this for a second. He made a frequency that says, I own the time.
That's why he was Prince.
What time? Wait. What time though? The time. All the motherfucking time.
Wow. That's crazy. Like
The name of
he trademarked the word. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Ladies and gentlemen, the time. You remember that in Purple
Yeah, I remember
that. Morris
that.
came out. All right, y'all want to get on the dance floor?
Yeah, I remember that.
Morris Day and the time. He owned that. Only thing he didn't own was Morris Day because that was the actual damn name. But if he could, he probably would have took Morris Day name too. Prince was about the bag.
Right.
But think about that though. How clever! I'm going to own the time.
He was ahead of his time.
What time? The time. How could he be ahead of the time? What time? The time.
Because he was smart enough to own that shit. That's why.
if he was ahead of his time, he would be here right now. Because it's gone.
Yeah, but you know, life expectancy. You know,
He's here right now.
definitely.
You can listen to any music, anything, anybody that. He ain't going nowhere ever. This motherfucker with his face tattoo on it.
Right.
Chicks got their name tattoo on them. Chicks. Where'd he go?
Right.
Think about it, because we're spirits now. When we leave here, we leave the vessel.
Right.
What did you do, time? What did you do with me?
And that's what lives on.
That's what lives on. What did you emit? What did you produce? What did you do with the most valuable valuable thing that you ever possessed?
Shit. That's like, I gotta go get busy right now. Y'all better fucking pay attention. I'm telling you. And I see why people actually like, you know, incorporate your energy into their lives. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they need this type of talk or this type of energy to be around. Because a lot of people, you know, they're stuck in this hamster wheel of just job, rent, girl, kid, you know, which are good things to have, you know, but at the same time, right, it's a rat race, you know what I'm saying? It's getting you nowhere fast, and it's like, that's a cycle, like, I feel like our culture needs to break out from, you know what I'm saying, and create.
Never get in a rat race. Never get in a rat race, because even if you win the race, you're still a rat.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm just saying.
Doing an
Shit. You know.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, there's two types of people in the world. There's a human being, and then there's a human doing. Like everybody's born a human being, but a human being what? See, remember, nothing started until the competition did. See, we came in here as humans. Humans being. We were just being. We didn't have nothing else to do but be. We were just being. And they changed that from human beings to the human race. Now we're in a competition. And this is what caused the growth. So you go from that to where we are right now at this day and age. We're not just being humans. We're a human race. We are humans in competition. That's what we are. A race is a competition. However, black people are the only ones who are not a race. A race has a beginning and an end. We have neither.
Oh man. Listen, brother. I hope everyone's listening, you know, because this type of energy that is what keeps people going. You know what I'm saying? This is why I wanted to bring this brother on the show. To be honest, I had a list of questions strictly about physical fitness. We didn't even get to that, you know what I'm saying? Because it gets so deep when we speak, and mostly when he speaks in regards to, you know, what people need to implement to get them to the highest level they can possibly become, you know, and that's what this show, you know, implements the culture, you feel what I'm saying? So, but even on the business side of things, when you work, because when we first met, you told me you made, you know, your bag from the physical fitness.
Yeah.
So from going to a personal trainer to a celebrity personal trainer to putting out DVDs amongst, you know, the Tybos and the P90X and the Power 90, and the Power 90 and all that shit, the Easy Crunch, you know what I'm saying? You was amongst all that shit and still managed to excel and grow. And that's what people need to understand, that, you know, if you got something inside your head, you could bring it out and monetize the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? And to get to places that you've been. So, you know, kind of highlighting that.
Well, you can't, for one, you have to be fearless. See? And that's fine because that's not in the packet. Like what people said, I'm ruthless like the coupe, but a couple more features.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be fearless. And that's not, you can't teach fearless. You have to not incorporate it in your life, period. You can't have fear when you have purpose. It's like waiting on the ship at the airport. Do y'all understand? Because once you find your purpose, here's how it activates. All things, not some things, not most things, not a lot of things, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and is called according to his purpose. A lot of people just say, well, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. True, but finish the second part. All things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and is called according to his purpose. If it's not your purpose, might not work. Might not. But if it is, all things is going to work together to make sure that it happens. That's where pronoia comes in.
Love it.
Facts. Facts, yeah.
So how can someone like, and I know you may not have the answer to this, but a theory that you may have, as far as finding their true purpose, because like going to your point where it'll show you that it's working, right? But let's say you're doing something like you're working a job or some shit. Nobody dreams to like just go push somebody else's dream like that, but it may be working. It may be getting you a house. It may be helping you pay off debt. Right. So that may create an illusion that this is your purpose, when ultimately it may not. So how do we kind of talk to people like that?
I don't know. I've never had a job. Bible calls it a job. The world calls it a job. It does the same thing. It takes your family, it takes your friends, it gives you disease, makes you sick, stress, all the same thing that happened to Job happens when you get a job. That's why I spelled the same. I don't know why they call it two different things. The tricky part about it is they make you put an application of this into your life. You have to apply to go through this shit. You have to put in this thing called a job application, a job application. You're going to apply all the afflictions that Job had. Apply it. It ain't just gonna fall out the sky. And you have to go to the office and ask them to fuck you up. Never. I've never had a job. I've never had a job. I've never filled out a job application. I've never been on a lunch break. I've never been on this shit. I've never even woke up and said, yo, let me go look for a job. Remember, I had 10 on. I had plenty of people to work for and plenty of people to work against. So it was no need for me to go apply some affliction to my goddamn life. I wouldn't have worked anyway. It couldn't have worked anyway, because I like to eat. Sometimes I may be tired right now. I like to smoke weed. There's a lot of different things that I might have to do when I'm on the job. That say like, yo, like, nah, I just couldn't do it. But here's the thing. A lot of people apply jobs to their life because they don't know that they have this thing called the inheritance. You came to earth for one reason. If you have a close personal intimate relationship and you're a child of the Most High God. I don't know about the rest of yourselves. You worship the devil, whoever the fuck you are, I don't know. But if you came here, you're a child of the Most High God, you came here to get your inheritance back. Now, just like anybody else, if you didn't know that you had an inheritance, you probably would get a job or a job. But I guarantee, if you knew that you had an inheritance, you wouldn't get a job. You mean to tell me that my father is the owner of a cattle of 1,000 hills? What are you working for? They brought that with Jesus' mother. You know what that is? No. If y'all don't know, the very first slave ship was called Jesus. Jesus of Glory.
I know that.
You never knew that?
No.
I'll be your fact check. The very first slave ship was entitled The Good Ship Jesus. Jesus of Glory.
Proceed, my good brother.
Hey, deny yourself, leave all of this and get on this boat. Or, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing, because trust me,
conversation.
I'm esoteric, so you know, they're gonna learn a lot of things that they probably didn't know, that they probably should know, stuff that was hidden. Mm-hmm. But if you can see, look, over that eye. Back to this thing called the inheritance, right? So in order to get your inheritance as a child of God, you have to have this thing called God's favor. Fact. So they say there's the 12 tribes, the Benjamites, the Kishites, and the Israelites, and all of these ites and mites, and all of these different things. So you have to know which tribe you come from. Most people don't. They'll go to Israel and here and the Moors and all these things. Here's how you get your inheritance. You have to have God's favor, which means that you have to have the rights to God's favor to activate your inheritance. So now you know what tribe you're from. to have God's favor, to unlock your inheritance, you have to have rights. This makes you a favor right. God's favor. When you put them together, it's favor right. Same thing. Now you know, now you can unlock your inheritance. And you might even be able to quit your job.
That's a fact. You know, and it takes a lot for someone to gather that type of mindset, because that is the ultimate level of positivity that you can be as far as mindset having. You know, some people, it's hard to get to that point, but I feel eventually they will one day. You know what I'm saying?
And even if they don't, that has nothing to do with you. Most people are deep because they're afraid to die. That ain't got nothing to do with you. They have to stay on the shallow, and they just stay shallow. Yeah, they don't get it, they're not supposed to. Remember, those that have ears, let them hear. Don't make them hear.
Right.
Let them. If they want to.
Yo, man, this is crazy. So when it comes to your life coaching, right? Because obviously through this whole interview, we see why this man gets hired for these type of services. You know what I'm saying? And some people call themselves life coaches, but they're not really dropping them jewels like you and kind of, you know, giving them the game that they need to really succeed. It's just kind of like judging them and asking them questions on what they want to do, but not getting as deep as you do with the intellect to kind of spark the spirit from within. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel you bring to the table. So, you know, how do you monetize all this? You know, for someone looking to do what you do, because again, there's plenty of phonies out there, you know, doing the I'm a life coach, let me motivate you, and it's blah, 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 and they don't get their clients nowhere. They just waste the money. So someone like you, I feel, you know, can help them more. So,
well, first of all, if it's your purpose, you're gonna make money. So remember to tell you that. Whatever your purpose is, you're going to make money off of your purpose. Just remember me telling you this. It makes a difference, it makes a dividend. If it makes a difference, it makes a dividend. Just remember me telling you that. If it doesn't, same thing. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Right.
Same thing. Right? Either way, a rich man without God is just a poor man with money.
right.
Yes, sir. A rich man without God is just a poor man with money. Meaning, no matter how much money you make, and you should make a lot of it, if it's your purpose. If it's not your purpose, you'll lose a lot of it. So you gotta know where you wanna be and then be there. Remember, something begun is something half done.
Right, put the words together, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this ain't going over your head.
Yeah, something begun is something half done. All you have to do is finish it. You know, another thing with the life coach thing, they don't coach life. Life is the only game that you can't play twice.
Right.
It's the only game. You can play basketball tomorrow, you can play football, soccer, golf, you can play all that. Life, you play it one time. Back. How you keep score in the game of life. That's it. You know, you can do everything else. You can say whatever this and that, but how you keep score in the game of life, money. If you go to the scoreboard in the lake, here, any this stadium, that thing, they got scoreboards. In the game of life, money. That's how you know you're winning. If you're healthy, it's just like any other game though, right? You play at the Staples Center, you playing here where you playing right, guess what? You still gotta be healthy. So people say, well, money here, listen, you still got to, no matter what games you are playing, and remember, you're gonna play a game because you are part of the human race. So you're going to be in competition no matter what. It's already on your birth certificate.
That's it.
Here's the best part about it. The game of life, even though you can't play it twice, is the only one you can't lose. You can lose baseball, soccer, you can lose all of these games and then play again. But this one you can't lose. That's why you have as much fun in it, as you can, and you enjoy it as you can. Because the more fun you have, the more money you make. If you're not making money, you're doing this thing called worrying. Fact. And worrying simply means worshiping the problem. If there's a problem, you start worrying about it, you're worshiping the problem.
I hear you, brother. Keep going, man. You know, I'm enjoying the show. I'm like, shit. I'm like a...
So, I'm talking about things. Right. So whatever you want to capitalize on, I don't care what you do. You can walk around scratching your head all day. I guarantee you somebody on YouTube right now that's walking around scratching their head, taking a little something off of it and making money. Fact. So you can capitalize off of life coaching by coaching life, but you have to understand it. Never mind your story. And this is another thing, a lot of people come to Hollywood and they have this fascination. And I work with a lot of celebrities, ball players, entertainers, and all these different people. They all came to Hollywood for one reason, though, to be a superstar. Whatever you're supposed to be that. Here's how you have no competition. I don't want what's yours, and you can't have this one. You see? Where does that lead you? Focusing on what you're supposed to do.
I mean, your own damn business.
I don't want what's yours, and you can't have what's mine. And even then, like in the word, it says that, it said that Mary left Jesus at the temple for 3 days and went back and got him. And he was still sitting there talking, I'm just using today's terms.
All right.
And they said, what are you doing? He said, didn't you know? I must be about my Father's business, which is your higher power. You're powerful. But what's your plug? Turn on any TV right now, turn on any, on the internet, anything, go to any hospital room, right now, any the emergency room or something like that, and you'll see people on ICU, they plug into the wall. Right now, on this thing called life support. If you unplug them, they're going into the next dimension. So what's really, are they plugged into? Are they plugged into the wall? Are they plugged into electricity? Are they plugged into the sun? Never mind them. God is your plug. You're not plugged into nothing. Hey, you ain't even in the hospital. So, as long as you stay close and you remain close to your plug, you're gonna get the power out of it that you're supposed to. So, Mrs.
Bars. Bars. Hey, listen, man. I love it, man. I love everything you stand for. I'm glad to have met you, and I look forward to making a lot of fucking money with you this year. You know what I mean? So, my brother, let the people know where they can holler at you, where they can acquire your services, or can they just, come catch a vibe with you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Have a conversation with the homie.
Right. Yeah, y'all can stalk me on Instagram.
You're a fool, yo.
Y'all can stalk me on Instagram at DAMEGA code, DAMEGACODE. That's DAMEGA. So let me tell y'all what that means.
Please
DAMEGA is, everything is based on a code. Everything that's within you is based on a code. It's called your deoxynucleoribio acid. It's called your deoxynucleoribio acid. Short-term DNA. That's what it's called. DAMEGA is a gym ad. So I was gonna open up a gym and I was gonna call it a gym. Not the G-Y-M, but G-E-M, which is a hard precious stone, which is what you became working out at the gym, right? So DAMEGA says a gym ad. So I would have been the ad for the gym. So it's a gym ad spelled backwards, DAMEGA. I'm an advertisement for a hard precious stone. Facts.
Bro, always a pleasure, man. Yo, you did great today, man. I appreciate you, love, and let's fucking work, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been talking about this for the last couple months, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we finally got to this, you know, podcast, you know, which I'm.
You're doing a good thing
Yeah,
too. I'm
hey.
liking it. I'm loving the setup.
You know,
Yeah.
hey,
Big
man,
thing,
listen,
yeah.
I think this relationship is gonna flourish to a lot, you know, of great things. You know what I mean? So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sleep Is For Billionaires, the podcast. This your boy Jonni Vegaz, the Mega. Stay tuned for more episodes to come, and thank you for watching. All right? Yeah.
Stay powerful.
Ah.
You ain't got a choice.
Ah.